Hello, 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 beautiful souls. Welcome to She's Taking Her Life Back YouTube Live, a women's work talk show. I am trauma addiction recovery coach Sonia, and I will be hosting tonight's live. I am super excited because tonight we are doing our third part of our five-part series on our revolution resolution. And tonight we will be discussing navigating setbacks and overcoming obstacles. And I will also be discussing three main points, which is identifying internal challenges.
Mm.
The second one will be external challenges and environmental factors. Our third one will be adapting to change and learning from setbacks. I will also provide examples of setbacks that we might encounter, and I will also provide you with some related and effective solutions. And before we start and we dive into this, I'm going to send it back to Mindset Coach Natalie, and then I will come back and introduce myself again properly, ladies. So, Mindset Coach
All right.
Natalie.
That's a lot you're going to share tonight, Coach Sonia.
Yes.
I'm excited. I want to hear what you have to say because, I'm always looking to benefit from learning about how to overcome challenges. So thanks for that. So, hello, everyone. I am Natalie. I am the CEO and founder of She's Taking a Life Back, which is the organization that has developed a women's work talk show that we've been starting probably for a couple of months now, Coach Sonia?
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
Along with being the CEO and founder, most importantly, I am such a dedicated trauma mindset coach. It is my mission to support women who've experienced trauma by helping them break free from their self-limiting beliefs, their self-sabotaging behaviors, and the unhealthy relationship patterns sometimes we find ourselves in. You know, it is time to move past all of that so we can discover our unfulfilled purpose in the next stage of our life, right? Especially since it's 2024, ladies. This is the next year of our life. Time to hit some goals. Along with being a coach, I always share and ask Coach Sonia to say, what qualifies you to sit here and give information about how to overcome self-limiting beliefs, how to break through self-sabotage, how to teach people about coping skills if they risking being triggered, and some women on their way to relapsing over substances or some other behaviors that we have learned. We know we've learned years ago how to cope with our trauma responses like anxiety and all those other issues that plague us if we don't heal from it, right? So along with that, I'm bringing 32 years as a board certified addiction counselor, certified anger management specialist. I'm highly trained in trauma recovery. So with that wealth of knowledge, I decided, you know what? I'm going to develop an organization because I want to help women who have similar experience like myself, like domestic violence, childhood sexual assault, living beneath my purpose. Although I achieved a lot of goals, I never really stepped into my purpose till now. So I want to share with women and help them take their life back, right? So I'm just so grateful. Not only I've had 32 years as a board certified counselor, this part of my journey in my life is really, really personal and is really heartfelt for me because I've been on this journey of transforming my own life by breaking through overcoming a lot of challenges. I'm trying to navigate through challenges, for over 35 years because, 35 years ago, I made a decision I wanted to change my life. And it started with me stopping the use of drugs and alcohol. And then my healing from trauma began. So together, I want us to foster this environment. I want us to be open and I want us to be honest about conversations that we embark on as we go through this journey of growth, healing, and transformation. So I want to welcome you to a Women's Worth Talk Show. This is not just a show. It's an interactive experience, and your active participation is at the heart of it. So here's what you can do to join in. I want you to know that I will be watching you and hopefully you'll be interacting in our comment section, in our chat. I'm going to be watching because I'm hoping you contribute to this conversation. These are the following ways you can participate, right? You can start now, as we're opening now, by saying hello in the chat. and let us know where you're from. Coach Sonia and I are here in Atlanta, Georgia, but we want to hear from you. Where are you from? The next thing, there'll be times in some of our lives that we have Q&A sessions. And if we don't announce the Q&A session, please feel free to ask a question at any point. Make a comment at any point if you hear anything that resonates with you. So ask those questions, share your thoughts, provide insights in the chat, because I'll be monitoring them on tonight's live. We're here to engage with you. We want your input. And also, we always want you to stay tuned for those announcements, especially this evening, because we have exciting news that Coach Sonia is going to share towards the end of this live. So stay tuned for that new announcement. We're here building communities, and you're a very important part of it. So to remain connected to our community, I want you to subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. I want you to share the live. I want you to hit that notification on YouTube Live on our channel so you can be informed every time we upload videos and every time we're about to go live, right? Also, I want you to take advantage of the resources and tips, because every single show that we're on, we always provide resources, we provide tips, we provide tools. We can't provide all of them because there's so much, but we have an answer for that for tonight. Coach Sonia again is going to share with you that new announcement we have. So again, we want to hear your voice. We also want to hear what topics would you like us to explore. Let us know. We'll put together a live, as long as it's surrounding what we talk about, of course, trauma, right? Trauma recovery. We want to talk about breaking through those self-limiting beliefs that's keeping you stuck, how to stop self-sabotage, how to get into healthy relationships when you had a cycle like me of unhealthy relationships. How do you do that? How do you trust again? So again, we want you to join the live and ask those questions. Well, so engage, interact, learn, and let's have this enriching experience together, because your questions, insights matter, and your journey is our inspiration. So with that, I turn it over to Coach Sonia.
Thank you so much, Coach Natalie, for everything. Thank you. I appreciate it. And let me introduce myself real quick, ladies. So I am trauma addiction recovery coach Sonia. I specialize in supporting women who have experienced addiction as a trauma response. With my own personal experience of navigating the paths and the various traumas, navigating the challenges path of recovery, I'm dedicating to helping my coaching clients with similar situations. I am committed to provide a safe and supporting space for my coaching clients. I do want to share that I do not treat addiction directly, but instead I provide tools and techniques to help my coaching clients to develop resilience and self-care practices that support their overall well-being. I also develop strategies for managing triggers and building positive coping mechanisms, ladies. So yes, I'm not trying to make my introduction short because I know most of you might not know who I am for our new viewers, but I also want to share that I have my own personal experience, like Natalie says. I'm not just a person that went, took a class, and decided to stand here in front of a camera and just speak to an audience and try to build an audience. No, I am a woman. As a child, I've experienced sexual molestation. I was sexually assaulted at a young age. I've been in an unhealthy home environment as well as an unhealthy relationship. I was in a 10-year domestic violence marriage, and I mean 10 years. It was the whole 10 years. It was no savings, but I was there. It was my husband. I had my children, so I have my own experience. It took me years of I had to do the healing, the therapy. So I have done the work, ladies. I'm not just a person that wants to sit here and listen to what you have to say and you feel like you're just talking to the wall and somebody's just sitting here taking your money, wasting your time, and you leave and I'm not gonna care about what. No, we're here because we're coaches and we want to guide you. We want you to know that if you already overcame traumas, but you still, like Natalie says, you're still going through them setbacks and you don't know why you self-sabotage and why you're still sitting at home thinking about what could have and what would have. Well, ladies, we're here to help you, guide you, and coach you to finding your purpose, breaking free from self-limited beliefs, and knowing that, like Natalie always says, there is no room for retirement. Retirement is just another limited belief that the government has put in our heads and said that at a certain age, we're no good no more for working, that we're
Yes.
supposed to stay at home, but raise our grandchildren, just be there, wait for the home nurse. Man, at that age,
Mhm.
I'm still gonna be dancing.
That's
I still
right.
want to go out with my husband. I still want to
Okay,
enjoy
come on.
life. I
Yes.
still want to make my money, and I still want to travel. So
Yes.
yes, maybe I'll get that little money they trying to give in your retirement, but that'll be my pocket money. I still
Come
need
on.
the source of income that's gonna be coming for me to do everything that I love to do. And that's what we want for you all. There is no settling in life. There is no such thing as I'm too old.
Yes.
So okay, well that was exciting. And I have experienced addiction as well. And many other ladies. So yes, I do have my own first-hand knowledge of trauma and um and my healing process. So we're here to coach you. And yes, let me tell you all real quick. I am going to give you a brief overview. I'm going to give you a brief overview, Natalie, of our Revolution Resolution series and the focus on conquering challenges and setting trauma-informed goals. So, like y'all, if y'all been following us, if not, remember you can always go back and see our past YouTube YouTube lives that we've had, me and Natalie. It's been exciting. There's so much to learn, ladies. Like Natalie says, we cannot always provide all the information we want because
Yeah.
it's only a certain period of time, and we can't stay here too long because then the audience feel like, they it's too long, it's too much. So we want to keep it informative, exciting, and we want to keep it moving. But remember, you can always go back. So the Revolution Resolution series emphasizes on conquering challenges by setting trauma-informed goals for 2024. It aims to guide individuals in addressing past traumas, understanding their impact, and creating goals that prioritize mental and emotional well-being as well. This series provides tools and strategies to navigate setbacks and effectively fostering a path to resilience and personal growth. So I just wanted to give a small highlight. I
Mhm.
want to give also a small highlight of the importance of navigating setbacks and overcoming obstacles, which that is our title for tonight. That is our life for tonight. So I want to tell you that in the journey towards achieving resolutions and continuing healthy recovery, free from addictive behaviors as well, navigating setbacks and overcoming obstacles is important because it fosters resilience, promotes personal growth, and builds character, and
Yes.
often leads to greater achievements in the long run, ladies. So, yes.
Mhm.
So, if you need to run, grab your cup of tea, grab whatever snacks you need right now.
Got
So,
my water.
don't leave the live because it's going to be very interesting, okay?
Mhm.
And anything you want to share before I start with my first main point of the night, Natalie?
Oh no, I'm just excited. I'm just excited what you have to share because this live is so important, Coach Sonia, because this is what we face when we try to seek our goals and we get frustrated when we aren't able to achieve them. So tonight you're going to help a lot of women, and I may hear something I've never heard before, so we can break through those challenges, we can overcome those obstacles, so we can finally reach those goals. So I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna take some notes and give a comment or two, but let's hear it, Coach Sonia.
Absolutely. And just a quick reminder, ladies, I have a worksheet for a promo price that is gonna be put at the end of this YouTube live. So remember, we have a promo worksheet. Okay, it's gonna be for a small period of time. It's gonna be $5.99
Yes,
until the
yes,
31st of January. Then it will go back to its regular price, which is $9.99. I understand there is a small cost, but let me tell you something. I don't think that our well-being and our our self learning and growing has a price actually. So
right.
remember to download your worksheet and benefit from identifying solutions for obstacles and embracing change. Not only that, but prioritize your personal growth and resilience. So remember, we're going to place the link and we'll talk a little bit more at the end. So let me get to the nitty gritty, which is my main speaking point of the night, which is identifying internal challenges.
Yes.
So identifying internal challenges. Internal challenges is it's something that comes from within. Something that comes from within. It's a challenge, a constant battle within ourselves and our thinking. Okay, so I'm gonna give you an example. Self doubt and negative talk. That could be a setback.
Ooh.
When we have self doubt and negative self talk within ourselves, that is a problem, because the obstacle that comes from that, and let me make this clear. I'm gonna be speaking about identifying internal challenges, and I'm gonna give you three separate. I'm gonna give you a setback, which is my setback is self-doubt and negative self-talk. Then I will give you the obstacle that might occur from that setback, and then I'm gonna give you a solution. Okay?
All
So
right.
the setback is self-doubt and negative self-talk. So the obstacle that can reserve due to this setback is lack of self-confidence. And who hasn't have lack of self-confidence? I know in some way we all struggle with this, even if it's not feeling beautiful enough, even if
Mm,
it's not being as good enough as your coworker, even if it's that not feeling as pretty as, enough as that other girl, even if it's not feeling skinny or thick enough.
mm-hmm.
So I think we do have that, or not feeling love enough, or feeling worthless, that you don't deserve that other person, you don't deserve the other this other thing, because we feel like we're not enough. So
Yeah.
that is a lot that comes from lack of self-confidence. A solution that I want to share with you when it comes to this setback and obstacle is implement positive affirmations. Seek support from friends or a mentor, and celebrate small victories. So when I say this, implement positive affirmation, you have no idea what telling yourself every day, every morning when you wake up, you are beautiful, you are great, today you're going to have a great day. Even if you say those are just words, but if you say it and you say it, eventually you will believe it. You
Yes.
will look at that mirror and you will say,
Mm,
I am beautiful. I
right.
got this. I got this. So not only that, but we also have to do the work. It's not just saying it, like Natalie always says, just saying it is not going to happen. If you're just saying, I want to continue being, I want to continue living a addiction free recovery life. I want to continue. I've been doing it for 3 years. I want to continue doing it. But you keep going to the wrong places, hanging with the wrong
Mhm.
people. You're not you're setting yourself down for failure. So I'm going to say that you have to do the work. So, like I say, implement positive information, but also seek support. Seek support. It could be from not only friends, it could be like Natalie had that live the other day, that was your accountability partner. It
Mhm.
could be, it could be from talk shows, it could be from life
Yeah.
coaches right here, where we can tell you and guide you and tell you what you can do, how you can promote your confidence. So that was one of my first examples. I'm gonna give you another one, which I love this one. It's not that I love it, but I
Mhm.
think I had a problem with this one at the beginning, when I was just starting with my job, starting being a backstage member, just a viewer on She's Taking Her Life Back, which is procrastination. The setback can be procrastination and lack of motivation.
Mm.
Procrastination
Big one.
and lack of motivation. What's
Mhm.
an obstacle that we can get due to this setback? Overwhelm and lack of clarity. And I'm honest about this, because sometimes when we procrastinate and we leave it for tomorrow, what happens? That then you have 10 things that you got to do, because you didn't do them when you said
Yes.
you were going to do it, or you just leave them behind and you never get back to them, and then you feel overwhelmed,
Mhm.
because you'll be like, I was supposed to do this and I didn't do it. oh, I'm never going to be able to do it. I'm never going to be able to accomplish nothing.
Mhm. Mhm.
So then one thing leads to another, and it starts sending you back. For example, for the first one, when it starts self-negative talk. So it all comes back. So we need to find ways to challenge all this. So I'm going to give you a solution. So if you're watching this, take notes, ladies, because these are effective solutions. A
Mhm.
solution is into break tasks into smaller, manageable steps, setting realistic deadlines, and create a visual roadmap or progress. I'm gonna show you something real quick. Right here on the back on my other desk, I have my little calendar. I don't know if you can see it. Can they see it, Natalie? Can you all see
Mm.
it?
Bring it a little bit closer.
Okay,
Almost
hold
there.
on. There you go. You see all that writing right there?
Okay,
It
yeah,
tells
we see it. Mm-hmm.
every time it tells me on Mondays I have my team meetings where she's taking her life back. On Tuesdays, I gotta remind myself I gotta create my two posts for Facebook, for TikTok, wherever it is. I gotta do. On Wednesdays, I know I have my live. Thursdays are dedicated just for my family, watching movies, enjoying our time. My son, even though I still do that during my days, but I break down what I have to do. I don't just say, okay, well, Monday I'm having the meeting. Monday I'll do my two posts and I'll go ahead and work on my next live. That way I'll get it all the way. It's not gonna happen.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
I'm gonna get overwhelmed
Yeah.
again.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna break it into parts, even if I have to talk like it said over here when it says um support. You know, when I said speaking about support. So I'm gonna put it like this. I talk to my husband. I say, hey baby, well I did this, but I'm still missing this. So when the baby go to sleep, if you're gonna go play Xbox, I'm gonna go ahead and work and she's taking her life back. And he'd be like, okay. But the first thing he tells me is set a reminder on your phone. Because if not, then I'll be watching this like little podcast radio now, and
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy listening to it. So yes, ladies, I mean I get carried away, but put it down, set realistic deadlines, and create a visual roadmap. And I'm gonna go to my third one, which is the setback will be fear of failure.
Mm-hmm.
Of failure.
Mm-hmm.
The obstacle that can arise due to fear of failure is paralyzed and avoidance and self-sabotage as well. So those are the obstacles we might come. We have fear of failure. We might just get paralyzed.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it says self-sabotage, that goes with paralyzed, I believe so because we speak about this in our other lives. When I was thinking about getting that promotion at my job, and I kept saying I was afraid of being told no.
Mm-hmm.
So I was self-sabotaging. Every time I go to work, I come back and my husband be like, did you talk to him? And I'll be like, uh, there was a meeting, they were doing something, they were busy. I was always keep saying, and then I just started saying, well, I'm not good enough. I'm just gonna wait. Why do this? They don't. And then I started just like trying to act like it wasn't important to me, even though it was. But I was self-sabotaging a promotion that was there for me because I did get it and I did deserve it. But I was self-sabotaging that opportunity by procrastinating as well and not doing it because I was afraid. My fear of being told no was still there on the back of my head, telling me I couldn't do it. So I'm going to give you a positive solution for this. Embrace growth. Embrace growth. View failures as learning opportunities and cultivate resilience through mindfulness and self-compassion.
Mm-hmm.
So when I speak about this, embrace a growth mindset. Actually, your mindset, embrace it, but with growth, with opportunity, with
Mm-hmm.
mindfulness. Be self-compassion to yourself. Tell yourself you're worth it. Tell yourself if we can't do it right now, we're gonna get it. We're gonna get there. It's okay. It's all right. Because like we always say, there's setbacks. And when we do commit a mistake, we learn from them. But a setback doesn't mean that it's not gonna happen. It's just um like Natalie mentioned last time, she says she's moving to Paris. Just because she didn't move in that year, that don't mean that it ain't happening.
That's
It's just
right.
like the time changed, but not the plan. So before I move to my second point, I want to send it to Natalie because I want to hear what she got to say about this. And I want you to
Wow.
share your personal experience as well, Natalie.
Oh yeah, yeah. When you were talking about the internal challenges, I was like, a lot of them I have, some I still experience, and it's so important for us to know about internal challenges. And then with that mindfulness, you begin to learn what they are. Because I learned like years ago, I don't know, conference I went to, and they were saying, the conference facilitator was saying like, um, when we don't do a thing, or when we uh, talk us out of something, 85% of, well, let me say it this way, let me back up. When other people tell us something about what we can or cannot do, right? And then when we start believing it, right? We start saying, well, it's their fault because they didn't believe me. They said this to me. And they said, 85% of our decisions, even though someone says something to us that may not be positive, 85% of it is based on what we already believe. What they say to us only affects us about 15%. You hear that? 85% is coming from us. So if someone says something to you negative, it usually because it triggered something internally that was already there. What they call them, hotspots.
Yes.
So that's why I believe this subject of identifying what your internal challenges is so important. What are you telling yourself? And I shared a couple of lives ago, like I could remember when I started being mindful and start paying attention to what I was thinking about. I was thinking like a lot of negative thoughts, and it was just going on and on and on and on, right? So when Sonia said about we got to come with some positive statements, that we got to fight back those negative thoughts, especially if you experience trauma. If you experience trauma, even though we're out of those situations, we could be left with a trauma mindset that has all that negative thinking from the past. Like, if you think you're not good enough, you got to ask yourself, where did that come from? That came from somewhere. And then you began to believe it. And then it's stuck in our head. So we need some positive affirmations to fight back. Something else you said, Sonia, something that I use today. Because, the reason why we talk about self-sabotage and self-limits and belief, because it affects our lives as coaches. So one of the things I learned to do, it was something that Sonia said, is break things down to bite-sized pieces. That helped me tremendously. And even as I break it down and I accomplish that bite-sized piece, I remember and this was hard for me, I had to remember to celebrate that milestone. Because prior to that, I didn't celebrate. I don't even think I celebrate. I was like, next. But I would think that I accomplished something when the entire project was done. But I had to learn to say, let me break it down to bite-sized pieces. Because even when I thought about that entire project and I didn't break it down, I was like, my God, I got so much to do. I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to do this. But breaking it down in bite-sized pieces only causes me to think about that very next step. Only the next step, not the entire project, but that very next step that I need to accomplish. And that lowers my anxiety about what do I need to accomplish. And that reduces the risk for me to sabotage, because then it becomes achievable. Sonia used words early in this talk about being realistic. When I set goals, and I have several accountability partners, and I have to make sure that when I set goals, because we do this, what is your top 3 goals for the day? And that accountability partner is my daughter. But I have to make sure those 3 goals are realistic. Because before I was doing 3 goals, but they were enormous projects, and I had to break it down to, let's be realistic. Like, what can you really accomplish today? What 3 goals can you accomplish? Or maybe you can accomplish part of a goal today. I had to be realistic with it. I'm just going to end there because you shared a lot of good stuff. But that internal challenge, that negative thinking, we have to fight that back. And the solutions you gave, Coach Sonia, are ones that I use, and I'm sure our viewers can use it too. Those are right on, right on.
Absolutely. Well, we were just speaking about identifying internal challenges. So, on my second point, I actually want to speak about external challenges and environmental factors.
Mm.
So yes, external challenges are and environmental factors. They are, and the first one it was internal. It's what we think, what we believe, but now they're external. They're external. There is what we have around us, what it has to do with life. Like sometimes, like we said last time on the other life happens, and then we have setbacks, or we cannot approach or continue doing what we're doing. So those are external challenges. External challenges are resources and well, how can I say this?
Can I ask you a question about external
Yes,
challenges?
yes,
And Coach Sunday, we get real on the show, real,
yeah.
real, real. So, talk about external challenges, like behind the scenes, like before this live, I had to get like make sure my two of my grandsons had something to eat, right? I had to make sure the youngest one has something to eat, and he makes sure he gets in his room because he can talk really loud. So there was a lot of challenges going behind the scene, and I know Coach Sonia was experiencing some things too. Those are external challenges, but we didn't allow it to say, you know what, we just can't do this talk show today because we got so much external challenges going on. And what about you, Coach Sonia? I know you be
Well,
sharing.
one of the ones that I've been right now for this past 4 days, Coach Natalie, it's
Mm-hmm,
my son, my his 2 years and 8 months. My son, he's been had a high fever. We managed to keep the fever down, me and his dad.
mm-hmm,
He's been really sick lately. He has little tremors, and he started with a cough. But this morning, my husband woke up as well with symptoms. I am the only one that has no symptoms at all. Nothing. I'm taking care of them. Um, and I still had to tell him, hey, I'm gonna put him in his room. You gotta continue watching him. I gotta put his gate because I still gotta do this live. And I said, if you hear him, you need to go monitoring him every 15, 20 minutes. Go monitoring him. He's
yes,
laying there. So I'm still worried when I hear noises. So if you see me turning sideways, his room is next to me. So if I hear my son and if y'all see me running, that means I gotta go check on him. But
yes,
yes, not only that, also, my job, I have a full-time job where I'm a management
yes. Mm-hmm,
manager. So assistant manager, let me correct that. I'm an assistant manager.
mm-hmm,
And being a spouse, having children out of state, it's a lot of external challenges that I do face as well as health and everything. But we're still here. So right now, I want to give you the first example of a setback. A setback is lack of resources and external
yeah,
support.
yeah,
So when we have lack of resource and external support, that can bring up an obstacle such as financial constraints and limited network. So So when we have financial restraints, what does that cause? Also, not only as in being the obstacle for that causes a lot of other problems that might cause us to delay going back to internal and start making us feel that we can't get out of this. We start overwhelming ourselves as well. So what do we do to help with this financial constraint and limited network when we come up upon with this obstacle? Well, my solution to that is to explore alternative resources, network strategically, consider collaboration or partnership to overcome resources limitation. Like have that support group. We always talk about having a support group. Have those people around you that that care and help.
mm-hmm,
Speak about what you're going through. You need to be open about what you're going through. When you're
yeah,
going through one of these financial constraints, or if it says limited network, we don't have to be limited, because sometimes we do that to ourselves. I was a person that liked to keep everything to myself, and now I'm very open. Like y'all see, I don't have no problem speaking. I actually love sharing this with you.
mm-hmm,
I love it. And like Natalie says, I'm hoping that one day I'll be able to stand on the stage and speak about my past and my overcome achievements and
yeah,
how I was able to do this. And I
mm-hmm,
want to send the message out of how down here I was, and how God's grace and doing the work has lifted me up here.
yeah.
So one day I'll be able to do that. Mark that down, because I'm achieve that goal.
That's
But
right.
yes, alternative resources, and like I say, collaborating with partnership, have that support network where you can ask, learn to ask for help, get advice. We coaches also are here to help you to come up with a strategic plan.
Yeah.
Up with a strategic plan, how to combat, fight, or overcome whatever obstacle you're going through or setback. Come up with a strategic plan, put it down on paper, and follow through.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
um, that is my first one. My second one, a setback can be unforeseen life events disrupting plans. And like I was saying, thank God mines are not like that. But I do want to share with y'all
Mhm.
that just yesterday, me and my husband were 2 hours away from here. His grandma passed away last week, and we
Mhm.
just went to her funeral. So that is a life event. I think that's really been a little bit hard on my husband. So I am his support. I try to ask him every once in a while when I see him. I'm zoning out, just being too thoughtful. Hey, baby, you okay? Everything is okay. I'm right here. I got you. So, I always tell him I give him his space, but I tell him anything you want to talk to me, or if you need to call your uncle, you need to call your auntie, go ahead, baby. Like, just go ahead. So just know that unforeseen life events might disrupt our plans. Um, what can what obstacle can occur from this setback is stress and loss of control. Um, like I said, he's been able to manage it, but sometimes we don't know because it might hit people different. It might be okay. I don't know. Within a week, it'll just hit him like I lost my grandma, or if he's gonna be okay. I know we dealt with other deaths before in the family, which was his mom. Um, so I'm just saying, not for everybody it works the same. There's some people that they cope differently,
Yeah.
and it might be harder. So this is why we're here. We want you to know that there is no need to lose, like it says, lose control. Um, I always talk about I'm a trauma addiction recovery coach, and this is one of the things that I really, really continue to educate myself and continue to learn, Natalie, because I don't want
Mhm.
to get that call one day where something happened to my mother, my father, or one of my immediate brothers, sister, or my children, and I don't want to be in that put be my how can I say? I don't want to be put in that situation where it throws me off the rail. I
Yeah.
want to
Yeah.
be I want to be mentally,
Mhm.
emotionally,
Mhm.
and physically as well um prepare for an event like that so I can know, okay, I have to have a plan. I'm not saying I'm plan. I don't want nobody that is listening to this say, oh, you don't plan something like that. I am sorry, but I do. I do
Mhm.
because I'm not saying my family is gonna pass, but we all eventually go there, and nobody's days counted in this life. So I do gotta prepare myself because it's for my own well-being. I gotta
Mhm.
make sure I said if something happens, okay, if I need my therapist, if my husband's not
Yes.
gonna be enough because I might just
Mhm.
go off on him. You don't
Mhm.
understand.
Right.
That's one thing that happens. You don't understand. You don't know what I'm going through. And I want to be able to say I have my sister. Well, maybe she's gonna be going through that too. So I need to have other support networks, other plan in hand, so I can know where I can go if I need help, if I need to stay strong, not
Mhm.
to have a setback, a fallback, a relapse. I want to make sure I am mentally, physically, and emotionally strong. And that's what we're here, like I say, so we can guide you, we can coach you through how to deal through situations like this. And
Yeah.
Laddie always says, the trauma mindset, our trauma will always send us back to what we know,
Mhm.
which is how we cope. If we cope by hiding, if we cope by locking ourselves up in a room, by being
Mhm.
depressed, by running to the streets,
Mhm.
that is what the trauma mindset will do. It will take you to where. So we need to break from that and know that there are other ways to feel
Yeah.
safe. There's
Mhm.
other ways to feel free. There's other ways to deal and cope with situations like this.
Mhm.
So I mostly already told you my solutions. Let me just say the solution that I recommend for this obstacle and setback is develop a flexible plan, prioritize self-care during challenging times, and seek assistance from a support system to manage unexpected events. So my third but not least, it's gonna be negative influence from surroundings. So let me read.
Wow.
Negative influences from surroundings. So what do I mean with this? And I think we all might be very common with this one because the obstacle that comes from this setback that is negative influence and surroundings, it's peer pressure or
Mhm.
unsupported environment. In my past situation, I would say being in the relationship, unhealthy relationship I was. That was one of the my surroundings. I'm gonna put it like this: my surroundings was negative.
Mhm.
It was very negative. It was very negative influence. Um, it made me stop believing in myself. I had all this negative thoughts about how bad and how low stuff I deserve, and it was an unsupportive environment. It was, and I continued to deal with this. So imagine when in our past we have all this that's been putting on there for years, 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 years. But then we come out, we go to therapy, we go to counseling. I just want you to remember this and keep it in mind. I still go to therapy. I'm. Some people can say, "But you're healed. You look good. You look." Yes, but I gotta continue healing because it wasn't just one trauma. It
Mhm.
wasn't two. It wasn't three. My trauma started as a less than a 5-year-old child.
Mhm.
I have memories that a person from 4 years old I shouldn't even have. And like I say, those are situations that's why I still continue to do. That's why I decided to be like Natalie says, be life coach and help other women because I want you to know that life does get better.
Mhm. That's
That
right.
we do triumph over trauma.
Mhm.
We can overcome this. We just gotta do the work. We just gotta find what we're missing, which is that part, which is breaking free from the self-limited beliefs, changing the mindset, like Natalie
Mhm.
says, and always having a roadmap, something that you're gonna plan ahead so you can know what you expect in the future, what you're looking for, what
Mhm.
is it that you want out of life.
Mhm.
Okay, so peer pressure and unsupportive environment. And peer pressure means that you can be out somewhere and you don't want to do nothing bad. You're clean also, because I'm a trauma addiction recovery coach, so I'm gonna throw it in there. Natalie's the
Mhm.
trauma mindset, so I'm gonna let you give an example with the trauma mindset, but I'm gonna give it to you
Mhm.
as the trauma addiction recovery perspective, which is I might go out with my husband's cousins. I'm gonna put them as an example. If they're watching, I'm gonna give them a shout out. Um, they drink. It's okay. I'm not gonna tell people who can or cannot drink. I
Mhm.
don't drink, and not because that was my problem, but I never liked it. Um,
Mhm.
if we go out, even though that's not my thing, drinking, my problem was another type of addiction with drugs, experimenting with drugs. That don't mean that if I drink, it's not gonna make me wanna go use, because the mind always tells you this is not what you do, this is not enough. We want the other thing. We
Mhm.
want the real thing.
Mhm.
You know, you get that tingling by remember that feeling because those are
Mhm.
red flags. When you start thinking about remember that feeling or getting those little thoughts, you need to know those are red flags. You need to grab your bag and run, get out of there. So you can be with the person, they can say, "Hey, come on, just one." It's not that is peer pressure. It don't matter if it's your family. It don't matter if you say, "Oh, I didn't mean it that way." Come on, just one. Oh, you gonna let me down? You embarrassing me? That's why I brought you here. That's peer pressure. Ain't nobody gonna tell me what I can and can't do.
Mhm.
Sister, bye. Straight up, seriously, like bye. Like
Yeah.
no, so yeah, those are peer pressure and being in unsupportive environments. It could be family members that don't support you. They're always negative, talking you down.
Mhm.
Stay away from those type of people. So my solution is establish boundaries, communicate goals with those around you, and seek positive influences to create a supportive atmosphere. So establish boundaries. Learn to say, no, I don't need to be here. No, I don't need to be part of this. And thank you, but say no. You don't have to. I mean, if you have to put your well-being in risk, it's not worth it. So with this thought, I'm gonna send it back to Natalie, see what she got to share about this before I move to my last and final point.
Yes, I got something to share. Yeah, thank you for that, Sonia. Again, just great points. External challenges. I like when you said, Sonia, about how you prepare yourself for challenges that may happen. And you're right. People may say, well, how can you plan for that? But there's some planning that we can do. And when we're talking about achieving goals, right? This is January. We talked about, how we're going to become more trauma informed so we can overcome procrastination and self-sabotage. One way, like Sonia said, well, another way, she named one, another way is just preparing for those external challenges. There are things that you can do. I think the mistake that people make, Sonia, is that they're going into achieving their goals just with their passion. They're saying, like, this is what I love to do and this is what I want to do, and not think about what happens if A happens, what happens if B happens, what happens if C happens. And I can tell you, with me, like years and years ago, I would use like every little excuse that happened externally as a reason to stop me from pursuing my goals. You know,
Absolutely.
this happened in my life. Oh, you know what? I don't have time for I have my job. I don't have time for my purpose. That's extra stuff. I have to focus on my kids. You know what I mean? That's a priority. Forget that. Or, I don't know, some other stuff happens. And we'll say, no, let's put our goal to the side. We don't have time for that because this is going on. This happens a lot with people. A lot. But if you learn to start learning about coping skills, and Sonia talks about that a lot, developing coping skills internally, and now what we're talking about externally, if you be prepared, yes, things are going to happen. Yes, we may pause for a minute, but we won't get stuck. Sonia used an example about the death of someone. Of course, you're going to grieve, you're going to cry, but that doesn't mean that we give up on our goals for the next 6 months or the next year. We go through our period of time. We have our mourning time. We have our grief time, and then we have to go. We have to keep it moving. Let me give you another external one that she didn't mention. Like, what happens? Like, because I have coaches and I have accountability partners, right? And they help me a great deal, right? Sonia also included our team is each other's accountability partner. What happens if, like, something happens to my coach or my one of my accountability partners? What happens if Sonia can't make this live, couldn't do the talk show today? I set up my life where I will not say, okay, all this is going on. My coach is gone. This person's busy. Sonia can't make them. We are prepared just in case this happens. This is what we're going to do. Just in case my coach is not there, guess what? He left me with enough information that, you know what? I know where to follow up. Just in case this happens, just in case Sonia can't do a live, I already know pretty much the topic which Sonia's talking about and I believe I have enough knowledge to jump in there. And you know what? Let me take on this topic. And you may see that. You may see that not only because something happens, like a son is sick or a husband is sick. Maybe there's a holiday. We were talking about Valentine's Day in February. Y'all better stick around. Y'all better stick around for the month of February, right? But suppose something happens. Sonia's married. And I said, you know what? Valentine's Day is coming up. It's on a Wednesday. If you want to be there with your boo on Wednesday, because I'm single, I don't have anybody right now, I'll take over the show. We're preparing ahead of time in case external challenges show up. But so as motivated as Sonia is, she said, "Man, don't worry, I'll probably be on the live. I'm gonna be on that live. Me and my husband, we gonna do our thing, but but I'm saying we have to be prepared, and external challenges do happen. And Sonia mentioned one of them, like, is another one, peer pressure. Like, I always tell people, because I hear a lot of people when they complain a lot about the people that they're around. That's when you get on social media, people talking about, I'm dropping this one in the new year. I'm dropping this one. I'm tired of this one. I'm always asking myself, and then sometimes I ask some people, who are you hanging around? Who are you hanging around that you got to cut them out your life? Who are you hanging around that you got to hear negative influences I've come along in my journey that I made decisions in my life that there are some, even family members, that I choose not to be around. There are people who used to be in my life is no longer in my life. So very rarely do I have the pressure from outside, because you know what? I decided this is a purpose that I want to achieve. And you know what? As much as I love some of my family members or people that I grew up with or people that I known, if we are not going in the same direction, I probably spend very few moments with you. Maybe on Thanksgiving, maybe on, but very on the day to day, I can't have the pressure of negative influences. And sometimes it's not intentional. It's for well-meaning people, but I have to really guard who's around me. I got to guard. So if I have any pressure around me, any kind of peer pressure, oh, you better believe it's some positive pressure. Like, did you meet that goal today? Did you work on that today? That's kind of pressure I have today, not that other influence. But that's just one example of the many solutions that, well, not many, several solutions that Sonia came up with, because we can't always talk about them. But you better be prepared. She came up with some great ones. So start thinking about setting your life up in a way that you are prepared to the best of your ability. And like she mentioned, if you can't think of ways to prepare, this is what we do as coaches. We help you come up with a solution. We help you map out that plan so you can start facing these challenges, so they won't be an interference as we're starting this new journey in 2024. Right? So thank you, Sonia, for that. Great information.
You're welcome, Natalie, Coach Natalie.
Mm.
Well, Mindset Coach Natalie, I'm ready for my last and third point, which is adapting to change and learning from setbacks.
All right.
And let me tell you all something, ladies. If you're watching the live tonight, please leave a comment. Please leave a comment. Tell us where you're tuning from. Put
Yes.
your name. Ask us a question. Let us know if you struggle with any of these setbacks or obstacles that we mentioned tonight. Or let us know how you overcame some of the setbacks and obstacles.
Mm.
Um, Also, give us a shout out. Tell us, let us know how we're doing. Let us know if we are bringing you the right information out. Let us know if there's a
Yes.
topic that you desire to hear about. But leave a comment. There is no way we can find and bring you what you want to hear if you don't put it in the comment. You
Yes.
don't put
Yes.
in the comment what you want to talk about, unhealthy relationships. If you want to talk about how to fulfill your purpose, anything that it is, self-limited beliefs, self-sabotage, just leave it in the comments. We might be able to comment, do a video on another day and bring up whatever questions y'all have for us. So please leave a
Yeah.
comment. Give
Mhm.
what you're taking a live back a shout out. Let us know how we're doing as well. So yes, um, let me move to adapting to change and learning from setbacks. And before I start with the setback, the obstacle and the solution, I want to tell you why is it important? Why is it important to adapt to change and learn from setbacks? Well, it's important because it would actually, I'm gonna give you two facts, and there are facts. You can go and research and Google them if you want to. Um, because it resilience. First of all, it's resilience. It builds resilience, allowing individuals and organizations to bounce back from challenges stronger than before. So it builds resilience. The second one is growth. Embracing change and setbacks foster personal and professional growth, pushing individuals out of their comfort zone. So get out of that comfort zone and go
Mhm.
get it. That's
Yeah.
all I'm going to tell you right now. So let me
Mhm.
say the first setback is resistance to change. And that is
Mm.
something that we are so afraid of getting out of our comfort zone. And that is the obstacle for this. So I'm just saying because it goes with the flow, right? But
Yeah.
resistance to change is the obstacle that comes with this is your comfort zone and fear of the unknown. Fear of the
Mm.
unknown. So we scared of getting out of what we know and what we're used to. We don't want to get hurt. We don't
Yeah.
want to be said no like me. We don't want to we're afraid of failure. That's why we scared. So we need to get out of that comfort zone. We need to get out there and get it. So I'm gonna tell you what's the solution for this. Gradual exposure to new experiences. So graduate exposure to new experiences. Um, let me see. Focus on the benefits of change and seek guidance from those who have successfully navigated similar transitions. And I'm gonna say it again. For example, mindset coach Natalie, with her 30-some-year experience, 35, Natalie,
35, yes. Hmm.
35-year experience. I don't have 35 years experience. I might just have 6.5 years of experience on some of the areas where I can help you, like
Years.
addiction and everything. But I'm gonna tell you, they are good years because I've been
Yes.
put the work. I've
Hmm.
been put the work. So it's saying seek guidance from those who have successfully navigated. That means that we didn't just went and took a class, went to college, and now we want to be therapists, psychiatrists. We're not that. We're not psychiatrists. We're not therapists. We're
Hmm.
not gonna do that part. We are sticking for all the women that have already went through healing, went through recovery, and now they're moving forward in life, but they still feel stuck.
Hmm.
That's what she's taking a life back is all about. Those that are already but are still having trouble with limited beliefs, self-sabotage, they still have that trauma mindset. That's why they can't move forward. We are here to guide you and coach you to fulfilling that purpose. So yes, the guidance have successfully navigate similar transitions. So that is one. My second one is the setback can be lack of adaptability in goal setting. Oh, that word just slingered down my mouth. Lack of adaptivity. If Ron listens to this live, he's gonna be mad at me. He's gonna say, "Baby, that's all you
It's
say."
okay.
Adaptivity.
Yes.
Okay, adaptivity in
Yes.
goal setting. So the obstacle that can occur out of this is rid, rigidity, and stubbornness.
Hmm.
And that's this is true, Natalie. I want you to tell me something about this one because the solution I have was regularly reassess goals and be open to adjusting strategies and embracing flexible approach to accommodate evolving circumstances. But this one was a little bit because adaptability and goal setting for me it's still one of like I adapt, you know me, but I'm a pusher. Like even if I don't get it right, I'll continue to do it, continue to do it, continue, and then I adapt to the situation. But adaptivity also to me means that you get used to it. So I would want
Yeah.
for you to explain that to me because I wanted to share it
Hmm.
because I think it's important. But I also said I'm gonna let Natalie put it in another perspective that is more understandable because
Okay.
some people I can say like at first I was thinking well, adaptivity, that means that if I adapt, I'll get used to it, right?
Hmm.
I'll get used to it. But then I was like, but do I want to adapt and just get used to something and do it? But
Right.
then it hit me because I
Hmm.
kept listening to it and I was like, no, that means I'll get comfortable
Yes.
doing it. And I
Hmm.
don't feel like I'm not good. I can't do it because I'll adapt to be able to do and move as I want and as I please. So I did got it, but when you come back, I want you to explain on your perspective. Um, Another setback is burnouts and exhaustion. And
Hmm.
this one, I think most of us get burnout and exhaustion. It can be from coming from work, having to still um, feed the family, the children, the husband. See if the children did the homework. If you have small kids, if they're grown, well, good job. But if you still gotta take care of the grandbabies, still gotta do laundry, still gotta do this.
Hmm.
So at the end of the day, you might be exhausted. Exhausted also as the trauma mindset. We're exhausted of negative behaviors. We're exhausted of being mistreated in the past. So we are restraining ourselves from moving forward in a relationship because we're exhausted of and burnout from all the
Hmm.
bad past trauma, even though we heal,
Yeah.
but we don't want to move into that because we don't want to get out of the comfort zone. I'm done with that. I'm going to be in a
Hmm.
relationship again. So we are
Yeah.
limiting ourselves to be happy and find that significant other because we're exhausted. We feel like we already gave it all and it wasn't appreciated. So let me see. An obstacle that comes out of this is overcommitment and neglect of self-care. So we stop caring about our feelings, about our emotion. We start blocking them. We don't want to move forward than that. Even when it comes to in the addiction recovery part, we've already been addiction, we're in recovery. So as well, we feel like okay, we exhausted, we don't want to, we already been through recovery. And then you have if you start neglecting yourself in that area, that is one of the things that when it comes to addiction, recovery is for life, ladies. I want to explain that and make it clear. Recovery is for life. We always going to be in recovery. We always got to make sure that we maintain ourselves mentally, emotionally, and physically, and always be telling ourselves about why we're doing it. Why is it important to
Yeah.
continue in this recovery journey? What we lost, everything that we went through, all the pain and the suffering, the hurt and pain of our loved ones as well, and what we overcome. So when I'm saying we might have been exhausted of that, that's why when we a lot of people just lock themselves at the beginning. I didn't want to go out, I didn't want to be near. But like we say, we hang with the right people. If you go to the places where you know and you will have your mental state of mind in the right place where you say, if I feel uncomfortable, I am good enough to say I'm leaving. Thank you. Good night. Everything was good meeting you all. I had a good night, but now it's, it's getting out of hand in your head. So I'm gonna call if you need to call somebody and get out. That's what you do. That's what
Yeah.
you do. So you don't need to limit yourself just because you have burnouts and an exhaustion of everything you went. You can still have fun and enjoy yourself without putting yourself in that situation, without thinking that the next relationship is going to be the same. Like Natalie used to say, do we think we have a sign? That's what we have to do, the healing, the
Mhm.
work, so we can be able to move forward from that. So my solution is to prioritize your well-being, establish a balance between work, personal life, and incorporate relaxation techniques such as mindfulness and regular breaks. So this was my last and list, and I will still come back to give you all the conclusion and recap. I'm gonna send it to Natalie to see what she got to say about this last one, which was adapting to change and learning from setbacks.
Okay. You said so many good things, Sonia. So I kind of took note to make sure I didn't forget to what to respond to because you gave a lot of good things. Um, but when we talk about adaptability and being rigid, I talk about it when it comes to, well, I'm gonna say women because that's who we speak to. Women who experience trauma,
Hmm.
like domestic violence, for an example. And they are now out of those situations. Like that last domestic violence relationship happened, like, say, 15 years ago, right? And there are many women who haven't done the healing work because they think they don't need to do the healing work because they're out of those situations, right?
Yeah.
So when it comes to maybe hearing what some of we talk about, like maybe that there's some of that trauma mindset still left in your thinking, even though the last relationship was 15 years ago, there are some women who say, nah, that doesn't affect me anymore. Or if their childhood sexual assault happened when they was 5 years old and they're now 50, 40, whatever, they'll say, oh, that was just so long ago. It doesn't affect me now. That's an example of being rigid.
Okay.
That's an example. Um, and the struggle with that is that in order for some people to really get to their next after they've been through a lot of frustration, been through a lot of self-sabotage, and they've been through a lot of not achieving their goals, hopefully they learn that being rigid and being adaptable to the same way they've been doing things, hopefully they'll get a little bit of open mind, little bit
Mm,
of open-mindedness. But when you're not open-minded to seek out maybe a different perspective, maybe to look at things differently than the way you've been looking at it, if you don't do that, you may not find the answer to what your problem is. Because I can tell you, as a trauma mindset coach, and as a professional counselor, trauma can affect us now, even though it happened a long time ago. But to get some people to shift out of that thinking, is the rigid part. They're so rigid and rooted into what they think, that they don't become open to the possibility of maybe it's something else. Maybe it has to do with trauma. So that's what the adaptability is, and the rigidity. And like you said, they're stuck in what they know. They're stuck in their own way of thinking. They're stuck in their comfort zone, and it doesn't matter how many times they sabotage opportunities to reach their goals. No matter how many times they're struggling with, why am I procrastinating? Because maybe that they're not being adaptable to a new way of thinking, right? And that's what we do here. She's taking a life back. And that's why we created not only the organization, but a Woman's Worth talk show. We want to give you a new perspective so you can get out of being so rigid to your old way of thinking, right? So you don't adapt and keep hold of this thinking that's really, honestly, not working for you. If you're not achieving those goals, you got to ask yourself, is it working for you? So we got to get out of that being rigid, right? So one of the things that Sonia also talked about is the way to really overcome some challenges when we talk about change and becoming less resistance to the unknown is by exposing yourself to new experiences. I can tell you right now, that will cause anxiety. It will cause anxiety, right? But in order for you to really deal with changes, because if you're gonna move towards your goal, like Sonia said, you want to be around people who already live in that kind of life, right? But when you're not there yet, it creates anxiety. You start telling yourself the wrong story, like, I can't I can't operate like them. I can't think like them. I can't talk like them. And then we talk ourselves out of to going to meet new people. So to make it just a little bit easier, what you can do is expose yourself. Let me give you a real life example. Like, um, this is something I did last week. It's not a challenge for me, but I can see it being a challenge for a lot of people. Like, so there was a conference that I was invited to attend. I was gifted some tickets to a conference, right? So I immediately checked with my team, and Sonia and them, they'll go, but they had things to do, right? And then I wound up calling like an accountability partner of mine, like, I got these tickets, you know what? Let me go. Let's go. Do you want to go? So that person said no. And I had to push myself to ask. I said, one more person, because one of the things I have to work through, because I'll leave, I'm like, I'm gone. Like, if you don't want to come with me, I'm gone. Right. But I said, no. I said, part of my goal of 2024 is I want to socialize more. So I said, let me go ask this one person who's interested in the same kind of, coaching work. And let me just go and stretch and ask her. It was not someone I would normally have called, but I wanted to step outside of my comfort zone. So I said, let me call and ask. I did that. Honestly, I got no response. So I'm like, okay, well, hey. At that point, what I said was, I'm going to that conference alone. I don't know where this conference is. I don't know where in this town in Georgia. I never heard of it. I said, but I'm going alone. I am going there no matter what. And that mindset was telling me we're going to expose ourselves to this situation, even if we're going by ourselves. So when I got there at the conference, I was sitting at the table. I grabbed the table. I was a little bit late. So I saw the person, one of the facilitators who had gifted me the tickets. And I sat at my table. She was over there. So normally I would just sat in my own seat. But I was like, Nelly, get up and go sit where she's at. I got up and I exposed myself by sitting at the same table with her and engaged in a wonderful conversation. So I'm saying all of this, like, if you're somebody who struggles with like meeting new people, or being exposed to a different crowd, just do it step by step. Just go. Just go to the event. Just sit there. You don't have to do what I did. You can just sit there and just expose yourself to see what's going on. I can tell you this: most people that expose themselves, including me, to new situations, when you get there, usually say, "That wasn't bad as I thought." It was that internal messages that I was telling myself about people who I've never been around. Start exposing yourself. Take some risk. It's important to be around people who you haven't been around, right? Use our channel. If you're not ready to like physically go there, start joining our channel, subscribe to our channel, be exposed to Sonia and I, because we're going to share our own personal life, like I just did, on how we take this steps to go into the unknown. There's a lot of unknown that I have to experience, but I'm learned the step by step and exposing myself is the way. I learned to not be so rigid in my thinking by telling myself, well, I'm not going to that place because they're different from me. I'm not used to hanging out with those people. I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to be open to the fact that maybe when I go there, I'm going to meet somebody. I'm going to meet somebody that I can connect with and network with, that I can talk to about anything I need that I'm going through. And that's exactly what happened. Exactly what happened. I began to meet new people, and I was actually picking their brains about things I wanted to learn about. Had a wonderful time. So yeah, those are things that you can do to overcome those obstacles. But go ahead, Sonia. I hope that kind of clarifies.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if you had the theme for next. You don't have the theme for next weeks, right, Natalie?
But I'm sure going to get it as you summarize. I'm definitely going to get it.
Okay, just get so we can share it at the end. I just want to share a little bit. But I'm actually those were my main points. I just want to do a small recap. I just want to tell the ladies to remember to navigate setbacks and overcome obstacles, build resilience, deal with external challenges. And I'm going to tell you the best way that you can do if you're listening to our live is if now or if you come back later and watch our recording. If you watch our video, please remember we do have a worksheet available for a small fee, which is with a promo code right now. It's going to be $5.99 until the 31st of January of this month, 2024. The 31st of January. After that, it will go back to $9.99. So, Natalie, I don't know. Right now, I just want to say that I had a good life. I think that this was a very good life talking about navigating setbacks and overcoming obstacles because I've had many challenges that I had to overcome and obstacles during my own recovery. And I want to share one real quick because I think that it's always very important that we share something about ourselves. And I
Yes.
want to
Yes.
share 6 years and a half ago, I left my hometown, Laredo, Texas. I left with a bag, a suitcase in my hand, and came to Georgia in a bus for 24 hours, drove in that bus, so that's the distance, 24 hours from there to here in a bus with my mother who came and got me after I said I'm tired, I'm ready, I want to go, I want to get out of here. I was actually my plan. I had actually when I was already um getting out of my addictive behaviors and I was going through the detox. I had already come up with a plan. I was actually going to San Antonio. I was living in Laredo regardless. I was going to San Antonio to get hospitalized, go through treatment, Natalie, and I feel well since it's a mental hospital where I'm going, they won't release me until I'm fine from everywhere I need to be. Not just from my drug abuse, but also mentally. I don't want to go to a recovery center where I'll just go, they'll be there for 2 weeks, a month, and they say, oh, you're good, you're clean, go.
Mhm.
I wanted something else because every time I did that and I went to a recovery center for 2, 3 months, I ended up in the same place and I wanted something different because I was tired of living that life. So I
Mhm.
thought I need to get to that mental hospital so they can see everything that is wrong with me because I feel like I'm crazy. I'm starting to talk to myself at a certain point before I started going through my detox. I said I feel like everybody's talking about me, everybody's out to get me. Like it was already out of hand. So I was like, I need them to see why I feel like this, why I feel like everybody, the world hates me and the world would be better without me. My children will be better without me. My family will be better without me embarrassing them. And I want them to help me with all this negative thinking I had and all this because I had given up in life and purpose itself. So that was my plan. I'm going to San Antonio to the mental hospital where they won't release me until I'm fine. I don't care how long they keep me, but it's going to be worth it. Well, there goes your setback and your obstacle. What happened was that there was
Mhm.
no space available I went to
Mm.
the one in Laredo. I said, well, I guess I'll go to the one in Laredo. Oh, well, it's going to be 2 weeks to a month for us to find you a bed. So what we can do, since you're in high risk, we're going to send you to the hospital and you're going to stay there. They're going to, I say, you're going to send me to a hospital where they're going to kick me out whenever they have an emergency and they need a room. You think they're going to keep me 2 weeks downstairs? And they actually took me to the emergency and put me in this little room where you put the people when they come to the emergency. And I was supposed to stay there for 2 weeks or maybe less if they found a bed. I thought it was ridiculous because in my head was like the first thing I'm thinking right now as I was laying in the bed was I could have just been over there getting, that was my thought. I could have just been getting high and in my own comfort zone, and I would have been fine. I wouldn't be dealing with all this embarrassment, shame. They got me in this little room with one blanket, nothing. I ain't eating all day waiting for them to take me to this place. So that was another setback. It didn't work out for me. My family left, said goodbye. I'm supposed to. I left. I ran out. I ran away immediately. But I called my family. I said I left. I ain't doing that. If y'all want to help me, we gotta find out another way. So I came to Georgia. I came to Georgia and there was setbacks here. I couldn't go where I wanted to go. But I'm gonna say this. Sometimes God's plans are different from our plans.
Hmm.
Because I was gonna my mentality, my addictive mentality told me I'm gonna come and get better. And when I'm better, I'm going back to Laredo. But I knew if I went back, I was gonna end up the same. But my mentality was like, "Ooh, once I'm better, I'm gonna go show everybody that I got." That was my mentality. It wasn't, "Oh, I'm gonna heal. I'm gonna do. I'm away from all, far away from my ex partner, and I'm gonna be doing good, and I can just visit my family." No, my mentality was like, "I'm gonna go and show them." So my mentality wasn't still in the right place. So nothing worked out. There was obstacles. There was setbacks. But I ended up going to where I was supposed to go, which it was nothing on my plans. I went to a detox for 2 weeks. And I'm a shout out for all those that are still out there or know somebody in need to go. Newport
Yes.
Recovery Center,
Mhm.
Newport Recovery Center here in Atlanta. They took me in for 2 weeks, and from there they didn't just throw me to the street. They come up with a plan. They give you a plan where they say from here you're gonna go over here and finish your treatment. You're gonna go to this shelter. They don't just throw you to the street. They make sure you're going out to a place. So from there I went to the SA where I met trauma informed mindset Natalie, where she was a counselor there for the people that were in the program, and that's how I came upon meeting Natalie. That's how I didn't like her. That's when I used to dislike her. Because we being honest here, like I said, I thought like, who is this lady here trying to teach me and tell me she don't know nothing about me? That was like another setback right there. Because I was like, I ain't doing this. She don't. I already know she don't like me because I'm a girl. All of them in here are guys, and I'm the only girl. I already know. She already thinks I'm doing something bad. They already say we cannot. What was the word when men and girls can be around? What was the word they used?
I don't know.
It was fraternized. Fraternized.
Fraternizing, thank you. Fraternizing, yeah.
I didn't even know that word existed before I came from Texas. I was like, what is that? Oh, they try to write me out for that. I was just asking for a cigarette. I don't even know the difference. I was like, but
Hey,
that's
hey,
why I
Sonia.
was
As you're talking, you reminded me we have to do a show regarding substance abuse treatment and mental health treatment. I want to
okay.
do this show because, particularly with women who experience trauma, there's a large group of women who have diagnoses and they don't talk about it or they don't go get help because it's so stigmatized. We're going to do a show on that because women need to know that you're not alone, and we need to like give the right information about diagnosis, and we need to give the information about how to overcome that challenge. But because I know firsthand that there are women out there suffering in silence, either from substance use addiction or for some mental health diagnosis that they're not getting treated for. So we're gonna do that. Let's take a note because we're gonna do that talk show. Definitely
Yes.
gonna do that talk show.
Yes,
Definitely.
yes, Natalie, absolutely.
Mhm.
Because you just reminded me. Yes, absolutely. The National Institute of Drug Abuse estimates that 80% of the women that seek treatment for an addiction problem have trauma history, and that's the ones that seek treatment. That's without counting the women that has not. And actually, it's also, if you don't believe me, you want to do your own research, go ahead and check this out, because I'm going to speak to you the truth and I'm going to give you facts.
Yes,
It will
we're gonna do
also
that
let,
show.
it will
Mhm,
also let you know
mhm.
that most of them will not speak about their trauma due
Yes,
because of shame,
yes,
shame, and
yes.
being victimized. So they don't want to speak about that sexual assault or that rape, and they keep it. And that is something that me and Natalie were speaking about. Natalie was saying, we don't manage to heal unless we heal from the injuries that were caused emotionally, physically, mentally. So, yes, Natalie, I think that is a
Yes,
great idea.
we will.
That is a
And
great
that's a struggle in itself, particularly when we talk about women who want to achieve goals. Like if you're in that situation, your first step is that you need to learn to get help from your substance use or even manage your mental health diagnosis, because that is the first obstacle that you need to get through. And like Sonia said, that will not stop you from getting to your goal, but you need to take care of that first. But again, because of the stigma, because of judgment, because of all of that, there are people who don't get help. That's why, again, like, Sonia and I have a team of women. We're going to share our,
idea.
our truth. We're going to share the things. So I'm going to share definitely on that show. I'm going to share about my substance use history. I'm going to share about my mental health diagnosis. I'm going to share those things, and I'm going to share the journey through me going through therapy and all of that. And then Sonia, I know Sonia's open to doing the same, because we want to help women on a real level, because we know women are plagued by this and they're not talking about it. They're not talking about it. So we're going to talk about it for you. We're going to talk about it for you. This is some real life stuff, and it causes people not to live their dreams. It causes people not to see the life they're supposed to live because of that obstacle right there. So we're doing that show, definitely. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah, I just want to take a moment I just want to put up here to subscribe to our She's Taking a Life Back. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit the notification bell to be reminded of when we go live and we upload videos. As you can see, that as the week goes by, our conversations get deeper and deeper. We're trying to help you really achieve your goal. And it's not because, again, you don't have the ability. It's because of that trauma mindset. And again, why Sonia is here as a trauma addiction recovery coach. We know that when people experience some kind of not only crisis, but when they start going to the next level of their life, even though it's good, it can trigger a response. And some people fall back into the old ways, like Sonia said, that they cope. And it may not be substance use, and it may be that, because I've seen it happen over again with people who have a lot of clean time relapse because they didn't deal with their trauma, right? And didn't start dealing with their trauma mindset, or either they start coping in other ways. Like people start going back to unhealthy relationships. Let me jump into a relationship knowing that it's toxic, but they're trying to find an escape route out of the trauma responses that come up. So we are here to prepare you to deal with them, but we have to learn how to cope. We have to learn that we have to admit that we need some help. We have to admit that on our own, we were able to get to those goals. So again, Coach Sonia and I are here to help you figure out, what is it that caused my obstacle? What is that caused me the challenges? What is it I need to learn to cope with so I can get to my goal? Take advantage of the experiences that we bring to the table professionally and personally.
Mhm.
So yeah, I just want to add that, Sonia. And I do have what the next episode is. If you don't want to
Um,
piggyback on, go ahead,
yeah.
Sonia.
No, I just before I run out of time, I just want to tell all our viewers, I want to tell you how to remember that you are beautiful, strong, and entirely
Yes,
capable of
yes,
navigating setbacks and overcoming obstacles and breaking free from self-limited beliefs. Continue to live a long lasting substance misuse recovery journey
yes.
and break free from self sabotage and unhealthy relationships. If you are ready to take this journey to the next level and consider working with us coaches, trauma mindset coach Natalie, and of course, me, trauma addiction recovery coach Sonia, we are here to guide you and help you personalize strategies and coping skills tailored to your unique journey.
Yes.
The whatever
Yes.
it is, the journey that you are, we will find the way to tailor it into your need that it could benefit you. Because it's not
Yes.
for us, it's for you, our coaching clients. We need to make sure that you are getting out of us what you are searching and looking for. Okay?
Absolutely.
So don't,
Absolutely.
yeah, so don't forget, like Natalie said, because she beat me to the punch. Don't forget to join and subscribe. We're trying to build a community here, and it's very important for us to have your support. If you're a woman that has experienced trauma, addiction, and has overcome those, please join. Join, and if you know somebody that can benefit from this, all the information that we provide here, the healing, the tools, techniques, everything, coping mechanisms, please share with someone that can benefit. Help us out, help us build this community and make it bigger. Please help us grow. And for those of you who are eager to take action, be sure to grab that worksheet, okay? Remember, just for a limited short time, it's going to be $5.99. So take advantage. $5.99. It's just $5.99. I think it's worth your well being. I think
Yes.
it's worth your growth, your time. So remember to grab that worksheet. We will Natalie will be posting the link after the live. I don't know if it'll be right after it or later, but you can always come back and find the link. I
Yeah.
will be sharing it on my Facebook, on our follow us also on She's Taking Her Life Back, the Learning Lounge. Look for us on Facebook. She's Taking Her Life Back, the Learning Lounge. Send us an invite and we will see, and then me or Natalie will accept your invitation. Um
Yeah, the link is on our banner on our YouTube channel. So click that link, and you'll be sent to the Learning Lounge. And Sonia, who manages Facebook, she will accept you into our private group.
Because remember, you want to get first-hand notifications about everything coming up, our next lives, our next talks, and that's what Natalie's about to tell us. What do we have prepared for next Wednesday YouTube's live on a Women Word Talk Show, Natalie?
Well, you were talking a lot about support, right? So I'm going to talk about the power of community, building a support networks for trauma-informed growth. I don't know how many times I heard from women like, I don't know who to talk to. I don't have a support system. I don't have a mentor. I don't know anybody that wants to do what I want to do. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. I'm sorry, not tomorrow, next Wednesday. We're going to talk about how do you build that community? Where do you start? How do you do that? So join us next Wednesday. Don't forget to subscribe so you'll be notified when that live is happening and when we upload videos. But I want to go back to the worksheet. I'm so excited because Sonia created this worksheet particularly for this particular live. So if you're interested in trying to learn and identify what your internal challenges are, your external challenges are, talk about resistance to change. If you want to learn all of that, she created a worksheet, and it's not just a one-page worksheet. I just want 3 pages. And like she said, we're giving a promotion just for the end of the month of $5.99, and it's going to go back to $9.99. But even for $9.99, you're going to get some good information. And I want women, because we know that there are women at different levels of financial help. Because we have a coaching program coming along. But if you're someone that's not able to pay for the coaching program, which is really intense, take advantage of the worksheets. I'll be uploading workbooks. Take advantage of the workbook. The workbooks for the rest of January will be $15.99, and after January 31st will be $19.99. And the workbooks are really extensive that Sonia and I will be creating. So take advantage of that, because that is a low-cost way for you to begin your journey until you're ready to take advantage of us as coaches, because we have one-on-one coaching programs coming up real soon. Look for the wait list. So we'll be able to help you one-on-one. You'll get that personal time with us, which really is like unheard of for the price that we're actually going to market it for in the beginning. So take advantage of that coaching program when it comes along. All right. So Sonia, thank you. This is some good. I'm going to rewind this, and I'm like I always do, but I'm definitely going to be listening to what you had to say on today's live. This is something that you got to rewind and listen a couple of times and take notes. Grab a pen and paper, write down what Tonya had to share
Absolutely.
today. Good information. Sonia?
Absolutely, Natalie. And before we end this live, let me tell you all, ladies, if you have a friend, a cousin, a niece, somebody that can benefit from this worksheet, go ahead and buy it and give it to them as a gift so they can benefit themselves. If you see them struggling, if you have a coworker that you so call your friend and you know they're struggling with something like this, with obstacles, setbacks, and you always see them trying to find solutions, tell them about this worksheet or give it as a gift, because I would have want somebody to give me a gift like that when I was struggling and going through my own
Yes,
issues. So remember, that
absolutely.
is something good to do. We give back to the community. So thank you so much. We love you. And you all
Yes.
have a great night. See you all next Wednesday.
See
Remember
you
to
next
share,
Wednesday.
like, and subscribe.
Right. Don't forget to take your life back.
Absolutely.